Hey, it's Tieesha, and I'm back with another great video. Thank you so much for watching the replay, and thank you to everyone who is watching this video live. I hope that my connection is good and it doesn't click out while we're on here. We had some storms roll through earlier, so hopefully it does not affect this show. Tonight, what I want to talk about is Medical Apartheid 2.0, or the importance of heal thyself. One of my subscribers contacted me earlier about a situation they just experienced at a doctor. And we're going to talk about that, of course, respecting their confidentiality, their privacy. But I want to bring this up to everyone's attention to see if other people have some similar incidents that happened with them. Also talk about this great book called Medisin that was recommended by one of my great subscribers. I believe his name is Michael. He hit me up and was asking me what was my review so far, and I told him I'll talk about it on YouTube. So yes, thank you so much for everybody who was joining me live. Make sure you share this video. I think I put it out on Facebook, but I was also going live, and I believe I put it out on Instagram as well. So I will leave a link for this book here. This is called Medisin, and it is by Dr. Scott Whitaker and Jose Fleming, and it is also recommended by the great Dick Gregory, rest in power. He stated the information in this book is revolutionary. Medicine should be placed next to everyone's Bible. And of course, if you're a long-time subscriber to my channel, you know I ain't got one of those. If anything, I would say my Bible is, I don't know. I would say my Bible is the ISIS Papers by Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. That's my Bible. Of course, you know, make sure you go check out my playlist, the Ex-Christian Chronicles. Have some good videos over there. I shared it on Facebook. Happy FU Friday to everybody, in the words of the cussing pastor, the only man that can get me to go back to church, Mr. Thaddeus Matthews down there, and I believe he's in Memphis, Tennessee. So yeah, make sure you check him out on Instagram as well. Join me on my other social media platforms. So what I talked with one of my subscribers about, of course, it was a woman, and she talked to me about unfortunate situation that she experienced while she was getting a pap smear. And just going right into it, when she got to the doctor's office for her annual pap smear, it was the way she explained it to me, it was on the brink of sexual assault, because it was, without going into too many details, I know I have men who are also subscribers and watchers, but I know a lot of y'all have daughters, sisters, mothers that, you know, you want to pass this information to. But just the insensitive nature of this doctor to, you know, have her get in the position for her pap smear and just use no respect. You know, yes, we have to get these exams every year, if not more, you know, frequently, depending on your medical circumstances. But you're really in a vulnerable position. You really are. When women get, you know, pelvic exams and pap smears or any kind of other test that involves your reproductive system, you know, you have a strange person, you know, in between your knees. You know, you didn't choose for them to be there. It's just that name popped up and you got assigned to them because of that appointment. And what she explained to me was that this doctor just rammed medical items into her vagina, moving them around harshly. She's verbalizing that this is uncomfortable, and, you know, just her total, you know, just, I don't know what to even call it, you know, because, you know, I can't put into words what she was going through on that table. And finally, when the exam was over, the doctor made some inappropriate comments, but also his nurse was there. And for men or people who don't know what goes on during OBGYN pelvic exam, you have a doctor, and if it's, well, for women doctors too, they'll have a nurse there to pass them, you know, tools and creams to put up there and close up containers to go to the lab and stuff like that. So it's always two people. But it's like if you don't have one, you can always request a chaperone, but they're really just there to be an extra set of eyes in the room. So she stated that after the doctor, which was a male, completed her pelvic exam, And she says that she was just left in there just shaking, just very emotional because this was, you know, just terrible what just occurred to her. The nurse came back and gave her some kind of cupcake or something. It says something in the realm of he does this a lot, or a lot of people have complaints about him. Not only to me, if that harsh pelvic exam wasn't enough for this nurse to come in and give her a fucking cupcake. And yeah, I'm gonna give y'all a language warning, okay? Because that kind of pissed me off. So I know some people click off when I start saying cuss words, put on some earphones, or go to where little kids can't hear me. But that's like the ultimate fuck you. Okay, you just been violated. That somebody come and give you a fucking cupcake. That's like, I don't even want to put another scenario on there because I don't want this video to get flagged or to offend other people who actually been through that. But that's like the ultimate fuck you. Like, you just went through all this shit, and as a grown woman, then a nurse come in and give you a fucking cupcake. And I let her know, if I were you, I would collect myself at this moment and walk my ass to a personal injury attorney and sue his ass for medical malpractice. A lot of doctors have insurance for that. Fuck them, sue them. And I'll press charges if I can. Because that's some bullshit. And I wanted to bring that up because I would say when it comes to the realm of women and pelvic exams, they're going to go see a OBGYN. I want to say hey to your journey. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Because I have a son. And when I had my son, I was 19. And let me tell you, I only have one son. Because the experiences I went through, I would say during my pregnancy, everything was good. But once I got to deliver, to the delivery room, into labor and delivery, oh my gosh, that was the worst experience of my life. That's why I only have one, because what I went through, and I had my son at Langley Air Force Base in Hampton, Virginia. I'm gonna say Hampton, Ohio, in Hampton, Virginia. They treated me so terrible. I swear, Langley Air Force Base Hospital was like birth control. Because I get there, your legs are open, everybody in the room is coming in and out and certain their fingers up in you and telling you what pain is and what pain ain't and what you going through ain't pain. And it's almost as if like they just discourage you from ever, being in that predicament, doing the things to get you to labor and delivery in the first place. So yeah, that's why I wanted to really name this video. I put it down as Medical Apartheid 2.0, Heal Your Damn Self. And so what that brings to mind is a book I read a couple of years ago called Medical Apartheid. And if my memory serves me correct, it's by Harriet Washington. I want to say hi to Kyle and Kareem, my moderators. Yeah. And in that book, Medical Apartheid, it talks about the history of the world of OBGYN and where that started here in America. And it brought to my lexicon a term that I never heard before called a Mississippi appendectomy. Mississippi appendectomy, if I said that correct. And what that was is back on the plantations, there was this belief that Black women and Black people in particular we had something in our DNA that made us, where we did not feel pain. So that's why some of the worst and the harshest torture things were acted out on Black people because they thought there was something in our brain, in our DNA that made us insensitive to pain, if I'm saying that right. So the world of OBGYN was developed through the torture of Black women who were enslaved. There's a picture, I believe, if you look at the series Hidden Colors, I want to say Hidden Colors 3, where they talked about how Black women and their reproductive systems, how they had like intense procedures performed on them without anesthesia for that very reason. So that's where the term Mississippi appendectomy came from. And what that was is they would sterilize Black women. You would go to the doctor for like a cough, or you would go for, I don't know, your foot hurting. and they'll find a way to give you a involuntary hysterectomy. So that's where I make the connection. And this is just me, Tieesha, just making this connection. This is where we receive the most abuse and torture is in the hands of our OBGYN. And with this, I don't know, with recent medicine and recent urges and, telling us to go out there and get, cervical cancer exams and, get your annual this, get your exam for this. That's why I'm really against, this atmosphere and this culture of them promoting promiscuity within the Black community, especially when it comes to Black women. I mean, there's a lot of encouragement out there to be as sexually free and fluid, but when we go in turn, when you do that, and I'm not saying I'm gonna do that, or what I'm saying, when you go in turn and you do that, then you find yourself back down and legs open for more frequent exams. So that's where it pointed out to me, like, heal thyself 2.0, like really take your own, not only reproductive health, but your own health in general in your own hands. So you don't find yourself being subject to these quack shitty ass doctors who are really assaulting us within the four corners of that exam room. Just want to say, take a moment and say hi to Kyle again. He says, good evening. I'm sorry about the Red Lion. I hope your next hotel stay is a 5-star luxury first class experience. I hope so too. What Kyle is referring to is the video I uploaded that I recently uploaded before this one. When I was on the road, I had some use or lose vacation days. So I decided to, take a little road trip, and I stayed at this really crappy hotel. Yeah. So make sure you go check out that video if you haven't already. If not, I'll post a link in the description, or I'll put it as a end screen for this video. Yes, that was pretty terrible. So that leads me on to, so I talked about the bad when it comes to, pelvic exams. So of course you want to always have balance. So I will speak on, a time where I myself had a good experience with the OBGYN. And this was a couple of years ago. It was when I was on the civilian side. So my insurance was Blue Cross Blue Shield at the time, and I utilized Planned Parenthood. And before y'all go there and light me up for that, this was before I got my African mind right, okay? But yeah, I did go to Planned Parenthood for my annual OB exams. I did, and I came across a Black woman OBGYN. She was super cool. She sat there and we talked about my concerns. She gave me some other advice as far as my overall health. She didn't tell me I needed these extra drugs or be tested for this or that, just a whole bunch of stuff. Like, it was what I walked in for, and I felt empowered during that entire visit. So what I've concluded is that I only want to be seen by Black women doctors. And I don't care if you call me prejudice or whatever. Hell, this is my reproductive system, and I have a choice on who sees me and who performs any procedures on me. So I want to empower you, before you just get randomly paired and selected with just any old doctor. No, if you pick up bad vibes, or you can request their full name and look them up and see if there's any complaints or any positive reviews on them. And if a doctor comes highly recommended, like if you ask somebody else, like, hey, who do you see, or can you tell me about your experience with your cardiologist, or your I don't know, your ENT doctor, your OBGYN, I would say go based off of word of mouth. Ask somebody else who they go to and follow up, okay? Don't just be randomly paired with somebody. That's just the level I'm at right now. Kareem said, I remember the Navy would force women to get on birth control. Why is people calling me while I'm live? I will call you back. Sorry about that. So yes, that was one thing of the Navy, because I had never been on birth control until I was active duty. And I remember in boot camp, that's when it happened. I'm like, hell, I'm in boot camp. What do I need some birth control for? Like, I'm in this birthing with all women, you know? But I remember the day that we all had our first medical appointments in the Navy, all the girls came back with bags, these little paper bags with their birth control. Like, yes, I got my birth control. Yes, I got my birth control. And me, I'm just like, okay. But yes, that was a big thing. I remember on the boat, there was this fish bowl on at my first command of condoms. They had that joker full all the time. But yeah, and I talked about that in my other video about me removing my Mirena IUD, because it's always promised like, hey, you can have shorter, lighter periods or no periods, and get on birth control. But once you get your mind right and you look at the complications, and it's like as soon as I got on Mirena, next thing you know, here come the motherfucking side effects. Here come these commercials. If you have pulmonary embolism, deep vein thrombosis, you lost a leg, call this attorney if you were on Mirena or this, or if you ever taken the birth control pill, I don't know. Yeah. So they're quick to always put you on this stuff, but next thing you know, it's commercials to contact this attorney for what happened. So really, take it into your own hands, heal your damn self, heal thyself. And that was another reason why I took some time off from YouTube to also, of course I was on vacation, but the last video I did before I left, it was right before Nipsey Hussle died, and I was talking about something on there, but I remember mentioning, Dr. Sabi and some other stuff. So once I saw like, what happened to our brother Nipsey Hussle, it just really just put me in a mind space where I was no more good to just be creative for a little while. It really just took me out for a while. So I had to just really take some time away from my platforms, the businesses, get my mind right, get focused. And, I played Lil' Kim jump off right before I got on here, like, okay, I'm back. So yeah, RIP to our brother, and just really stay focused and build your brand, build your business, and do great things so that he did not die in vain. Another thing that kind of made me want to do this video is like everything came into alignment at the right time. I found myself at the urgent care today, and I can literally go outside and kick my own ass, because I'm like, why the hell am I here? I have an allergic reaction to something where like my forehead is breaking out. I don't know. No, I won't say an allergic reaction. Just something is going on. But I put something on my face, and I'm not sure if it's just a bacterial infection or really like allergic reaction to cleaning products, but I've been putting Clearasil on it. And you guys know I'm on this journey, to clear skin. Check out that playlist on my channel. So I'm like, maybe I need like some, I don't know, some cortisone or something. But I'm like, okay, let me get, medical intervention. But once I got there, I'm like, what the hell am I doing here? Know thyself, know you goddamn self. And I'm like, Tieesha, you can clear up your own fucking skin. Why are you here? And I just kind of stayed, but then I really want to go outside and kick my own ass, because when I was telling the nurse about what's going on, the first thing out of her mouth is, have you heard of Proactive? And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about some goddamn Proactive? I'm telling you, I'm having a reaction to something, not fucking acne. And I thought about it like, you know what? I'm ready to go. Have a happy fuck you Friday. Because I really got mad at myself, really heal thyself. So I just need to get back and get centered and focus on taking care of my own damn self. I've had this body, since I was born. I've told y'all before how old I am on my channel. I ain't gonna keep on saying it, okay? Do your homework. But I'm like, I can do for myself. I can do for myself better than anybody else can. Why the fuck am I here? So yeah, I just have to stop being lazy and trial and error, figure out what is going on with myself and heal my own self. And that made me think about the older generation. In particular, I thought about my grandmother for a second. My grandmother, she wholeheartedly, She's still here with us. You know, she's had a tough, you know, last couple of years, but she's strong as hell, and she's still here with us. She ran to the doctor for every damn thing. You know, like she said, oh, I gotta go and get my blood checked. I gotta go do this. I gotta go do that. I gotta go do this. I gotta go do that. Where my grandma at right now? I'll be open and honest with you guys. And no, it's not a violation of HIPAA, because if you saw my grandmother, you see it with your own eyes. My grandma ain't got no legs, you know? And I'm like, shit, you know, my grandma trusted medicine and trusted the doctors all this time. And where she is, she ain't got no legs. So you really have to take control of your own health. Do for self, learn thyself. Take your health into your own hands and control that. And that made me think about, you know, when I worked in the civilian sector for the police department. And because I was always the rookie and always available for something, you know, I went to all of the deceased person calls. Well, I won't say all, but I went to a great number of them. And when I responded and got there, especially with older people, I noticed that their nightstand had lots of bottles of prescriptions. Prescription for this, prescription for that, prescription for this, prescription for that, prescription for this. I never saw vitamins. I never saw, you know, them growing their own food. You know, they got to a point where other people had to bring food for them. Pretty much their lifestyle, their routine was going to the doctor, filling a prescription, waiting for the next appointment, and don't die. And a lot of times they died. And that's when I showed up. And the one that sticks with me the most was this lady. She lived by herself, and she was, I want to say she was probably in her 90s, real good, but she lived alone. But she had a table full of prescriptions. And then she also had some handwritten prescriptions from her doctor. And it was like about 20 of them. And I'm like, why is a 90-year-old woman with this many damn prescriptions? And you know, when a person passes away, or if you don't know, the officer that responds, we take custody of all of those drugs and we put them in property and evidence for disposal. So I had a huge, like, what grocery store was there? I had like a huge, like, brown bag, because we was, you know, put different evidence collection items in our trunk. So I had to go and get like a grocery bag, a Food Lion paper bag, and put all those drugs in there, and then get all of the paper scripts. Look for some more, because you have to make sure that there's no drugs in there, you know, as you secure the residence. I will say it this way, I needed a good 3 or 4 property and evidence sheets to list all of those drugs on there. And this was before, you know, the policy changed to where I don't think I had to list. I just had to put them all in the bag and like ensure it was closed and just mark it for disposal. But before that happened, I had to list every single drug on all of these property and evidence sheets and package them up for destruction. And I thought about it like, once I moved to Hawaii and I would go to parks and see Asian people, you know, in the park doing Tai Chi for seniors and, you know, doing herbal teas and stuff. I'm like, okay, why can't we do that? You know, why is it that we run to the doctor and get all these fucking drugs and die? And when you look at the bodies, like when you go to um, respectfully collect the body and prepare it for the funeral home, you will look at it like, their bodies just got ate up. You know, it was like no, I don't know. I mean, because they're already deceased, there's no life in it. But you see, like they're just stripped of everything. Like there's no muscle mass. There's nothing. It's just really skin and bones. And that's what these prescriptions, the medicines do to you when you just trust that, like, yes, I'm gonna just take all my medicine and just die. You know, I don't want to do that. I want to give myself a chance to, you know, see my 100th birthday and beyond. And I'm glad that I came across this other this lady. She lives in Miami, I believe, but she has a YouTube channel. Her name is Annette Larkins. She's in her 70s, real good, but she doesn't even take an aspirin. She eats everything from her garden. She grows everything from wheatgrass to pineapples to bananas. She only eats what she grows. And I'm like, that's what I want to do. That's where I want to be. That is heal thyself in living color. in HD. So make sure you go check out her. I talked about her on the other videos on my channel on here about wheatgrass. Those are some of my earlier videos I did like in 2017. Go check those out. And I'm gonna go to the comments real quick. Um, Thank you for saying you love the blue. Yes, blue is my birthstone. Thank you. In boot camp, they will put chemicals in the food to control the sexual. I feel so bad talking about sex, but it's okay. In boot camp, they will put chemicals in the food to control the sexual arousal. And I'm glad that you mentioned that, because it was one time I was on the boat, and for people who don't know what the boat is, and I was in the Navy, we call it the boat, and I was skating. I can say it now because, I have nobody in my Navy chain of command. I'm not in Navy no more, so I can say what I want to say. But I was skating, and I saw the food coming out of one of the freezers. And on the box, it's like not for hospital use, not for institutional use, military okay. So I definitely believe that, because I said this before. When I was active duty, my health was straight trash. When I look at pictures of myself when I was active duty, I was between the ages of 18 and 23. I was 18 and 23 when I was in. And when I look at pictures of myself then, and just think about how I felt older than what I was. I felt like trash, because you can eat on the boat, feel like shit. Get off the boat. What's across the street from your boat? McDonald's. We used to call it Taco Hut, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Taco Bell, and Pizza Hut all in one. Shit food. I really felt the worst. But once I took control and started cooking in my own kitchen, being in control of my own food, one of the first things I did once I got out, I went outside and I planted tomatoes, cucumbers, and something else. And I started growing my own food. And that's when I started aging backwards. Like, now people come up to me, they don't believe that I am the age that I am. And I'm like, yeah, take control of your food. Heal your damn self. Heal your own damn self. And but I definitely believe that. And I'm really cautious. Like, I really hate eating at places that, if the food is really cheap, they bought it for cheaper than that. For instance, trying to think. Like Navy boot camp. We receive, not boot camp, but just being in the Navy. We received this allowance called, was it basic allowance for supplements? And what that is your money for your food. And you receive anywhere between like $200 and $300 a month. And that was your allowance for food. So if you ate food on the boat, if you were assigned to a ship, the Navy would take that money right back, and because you are supposed to get your three square on the boat. But if you're on shore duty, you'll get that deposited into your checking account, and you can go buy your own food. You can eat, below that. I know some people who got their basic allowance for, food. We'll just call it food allowance, and they'll just like eat oodles and noodles and cans of ravioli and bullshit, and those be the ones that make your life hell. Or you can be, how I am, and if I was to receive DAS now, I'll take that shit to, Whole Foods or Costco or Trader Joe's or grow my own fucking food. But I'm really leery on food that, they want to supply you with your own food, because the company that is a supplier or has the contract to provide that food, they are not thinking about vitamins and nutrients and shit like that. Nowadays, all people care about is calories, and what looks edible is saving money. Kyle said in the Army it's called BAQ. Exactly. And you said it was a reason why a lot of people gain weight. Exactly. But the keys to death, or the keys to longevity, is in your food. And when you leave your food to other people, then you're making the pharmaceutical company and the health industry food. I mean, you're making them money, because there is wealth in your sickness. So moving right along to Like ways that you can combat this. Like really take your health, the heal your damn self into your own hands. I think we have beat eating that dead horse. We just beat the shit out of that. But movement, you gotta move. You gotta move. One thing that I really, 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 really stress over is just that I'm working on myself right now is flexibility, because I'm seeing a lot of people early on, like 40s. I came in contact with somebody who says, yeah, they're like 40 something and they needed a knee replacement. I believe my father, he had to get his hips replaced in his 40s. But with his, it came from years of just, drinking beer, and just, I guess his karma came back to him as well. So I feel zero sympathy for him. That's what he get. But yeah, there's really no reason to be below 70 and need a hip replacement or a knee replacement or nothing like that. You just really have to take care of yourself. And I noticed when I did my half marathon was that the people that came in first, they were like super old. They were like shit, 50s and 60s, but they out there coming in like the first, 50. And here I am, coming in like for a half marathon, like at the 2 hour, 45-minute mark. I felt kind of bad about that because I didn't even get a participation trophy. So it's like encouragement to, get my body right, get that flexibility up. And you said plus fast and detox. Yes, yes. A fast and detox is it. Do I have it here? Yeah, here we go. One thing that I really love that keeps my colon clean is aloe juice. And I use my aloe juice for not only, keeping my colon clean, but also put it in my hair. So yeah, I got this at Walmart. You can find this at Walmart. It costs more at Walgreens. But yeah, it's only about $6 aloe. And when I was in Hawaii, I grew aloe all the time. I would go out there and get it, put on my face. That's when I started healing my cystic acne when I was out there. And one thing I've always the person who introduced me to aloe was my grandmother. She can grow aloe in anything. She'll have old Cool Whip bowls and have, aloe growing in it, and butter bowls, aloe all over the place. So she's the one who have put me onto it. And to grow it, you can just put it in the window and it grows forever. You said, Kareem says, I would detox after deployment and never ate on the ship. Exactly. On the ship life, we were ABF, so we dealt with jet fuel. When I started bringing my own water on the boat, and I still do, like everywhere I go, even here at the house, I do not drink what comes out of the tap. Like I barely like I want to get my own filtration system for the showers and stuff like that, because on the boat it's not supposed to happen. There's checks and balances in place. But do people follow the rules? No, they do not. So while the engineering department is bringing on, what is it, potable water, fuels is stripping our fuel tanks, the water that collects at the bottom of our fuel tanks. Because, let's say this was a fuel tank, then, let's say we filled it up to here with fuel, the water and sediment settles at the bottom. So you'll have a tube here called the stripping tube, or the stripping pipe. And what you'll do is strip all that water and sludge and sediment and throw it over the side of the boat. Well, there's supposed to be checks and balances. The people, not supposed to be taking on water and stripping at the same time. But it happens. And how you know it happens, you'll come to the mess decks, and instead of you getting fountain drinks, you get cans of pop. And when you go take a shower, you'll look like I do right now. I'm not saying I'm on the boat, but I'm just saying, like, you got the shower, you be ashy as hell. And when you brush your teeth, it tastes like JP5. Yeah, that happened a lot. So yeah, as I bring my own water wherever I go, even in port, there's what is it? I don't know the correct term at the moment, but clean water acts and stuff like that. Check out a a channel here on YouTube by Dr. Typing it in now, Dr. Mona Harris. And I came across her lectures probably early last year. And she's talking about how in the US, there's very little clean drinking water, very little. And most recently, I read an article about how shrimp they're testing it in the UK and it's found with cocaine in it, you know? But think about it, these are bottom feeders along with lobster and a whole bunch of other stuff. So they're feeding off the bottom. What do people do? You know, they flush drugs, you know, people die with drugs in their system, you know, things like that. People pee. Drugs come out of your pee, okay? You know, a lot of people right now is taking part in recreational drug use. They go pee, they flush it down. You might drink it down. You know, think about that. So it's very important to, you know, stay abreast of current events, stuff like that. Also, check out a video, you know, shameless plug. I did a video on the dangers of our toxic tap water. It's on here, and particularly in my area, the fish in the Puget Sound around Seattle had pharmaceutical drugs. Those fish have pharmaceutical drugs in it. And in addition, we've had a lot of red flag days, I wish to call it, but there's been a lot of spillage from the shipyard in my area, and the Native American tribes are suing, you know, the Navy for dumping chemicals and paint in the natural drinking water. So the salmon are poisoned. So yeah, there's a lot of shit going on. And to include, Kareem, you don't know about this, the AFFF that we use for firefighting purposes on the ship. If our fuel was to catch fire, it's AFFF stands for aqueous film forming foam, I guess. Yeah. I've been at ABF in a decade, so but yeah, that AFFF foam is being used on shore duty basis where they have airfields. So if you live near a airfield or Air Force airfield or shit, I don't know, airport, they will use that firefighting film. And guess what? Once it leaves the runway, it goes into the groundwater. So a lot of people's ground wells are poisoned. And this chemical is manufactured by the company 3M. It's there forever. Yeah. So the last I heard on that, the last I read is that they developed a filtration system that's supposed to remove much of it, but it's still there. And what this film does, it causes birth defects and it alters your DNA. So, you know, once it's in your system, it's gonna always be there. Yeah. Just want to say greetings to the family Kaba Nepti. I watched your most recent video, so you keep up the great work as well. Thank you so much for sharing. Kareem said it was also used to clean the flight deck and runways. And when he says the flight deck and runways, not only is he talking about shore-based locations, it's also on ships. Exactly. So yeah, moving along, I want to talk about this book here, this book called Medisin. And again, shout out to Michael. I forgot what your YouTube name is, but I know you followed up with me on Instagram. This book here, I'm not going to spoil it for you. I posted a link for you up top and I'll post it again here. We really, 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 really have to take our health into our own hands. And that's why I kicked myself early. I'm like, Tieesha, you read all these damn books, you watch all these lectures, you share all these posts, but why did you run your black ass to the damn urgent care? Only to, you know, get pissed off. I could have avoided that. But this book here, I'll read the back portion to you. It says the American death ceremony. The death ceremony started as a crude ritual back in the days of witchcraft. In recent years has been developed into a science. It usually takes about 10 to 15 years. However, modern science advancements are shortening this period of time. It starts with one simple aspirin for a simple headache. When the one aspirin will no longer cover up a headache, you take two. Sound familiar? Military. Get that Motrin 800s. Take another one. After 2 months, when 2 aspirin would no longer cover the headache, you take one of the stronger compounds. By this time, it becomes necessary to take something for the ulcers that have been caused by the aspirin. Now that you are taking 2 medicines, you have a good start. But after a few months, these medicines will disrupt your liver function. And if a good infection develops, you take some penicillin. Of course, the penicillin will damage your red blood cells and your spleen so that you develop anemia. Another medication is then taken to cover up the anemia. By this time, all of these medications will put a strain on your kidneys and they should break down. It is now time to take some antibiotics. When these destroy your natural resistance to disease, you can expect a general flare up of all of your symptoms. The next step is to cover up all of these symptoms with sulfa drugs. When the kidneys finally plug up, you can finally have them drained. What is that called? Dialysis. I used to work at the nephrology clinic at Portsmouth Naval Hospital before I had got out. Some poisons will build up in your system, but you can keep going quite a while this way. By now, the medicines will be so confused they won't know what they're supposed to be doing, but it doesn't really matter. If you have followed every step as directed, you can now make an appointment with your undertaker. The game is played by practically all Americans, except for the few ignorant souls who follow nature. That, my friends, is Medisin. Make sure you get your hands on this book. Also, I will go ahead and post a link in the description for this video for Medical Apartheid. Also, check out the book or the series Hidden Colors. I'll post those as well. And my favorite, Hidden Colors 3, where it talks about medicine. Flytown stated, in my opinion, all medicines have side effects. I think that's fact. Yes, if you want to stay healthy, drink water, water, water. Exactly. And one thing that I also do, and is follow the teachings of Dr. Sebi. Also, one of the most important books that I read was what is it? Heal Thyself by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Or no. Heal Thyself is by Naeem Akbar, Dr. Naeem Akbar, and How to Eat to Live. 1 and 2 is by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And another one I remember that helped me get off of pork was How Not to Eat the Pork or How to Live Without the Pork by, the beautiful fellow Cincinnatian sister Shahrazad Ali. I love that book. So yeah, what you want to do is stay out of the clinic, stay out of the doctor's office. And if you do have to go for various stuff, check out my sister Art Kathy. Okay, her channel is on here. Actually, I'm going to take a pause and go get a link for Art Kathy's channel, and I'm going to post it right here so that y'all can go check her out. She has herbs. She highly recommends herbs from House of Imhotep. Art Kathy. I can go ahead and watch her videos. I think she would have been disappointed in me today. Like you took your black ass to the urgent care. What the hell is wrong with you, sis? Like, what the hell? But yes, make sure y'all subscribe right now. I'm posting her channel right here. Art Kathy. Get some herbs. Speaking of the situation I talked to you about earlier about my horrible experience, in labor and delivery. If I am fortunate enough to be a mommy again, I am going to have a doula. I'm going to have my child at home in one of those inflatable swimming pools. I'm not going back to labor and delivery ever again. Never. And then as far as any element or anything that comes up, yourself. You're around yourself 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 or 366, but it's a leap year, days a year, okay? Just retrace what happened to you. A lot of stuff is over the counter. Right before I came on here, I was talking to my mom about what happened. And she's like, okay, if it's allergy this, go get that. If it's bacterial, get this. I doubt if it's bacterial because it's not like spraying off my face. It's just that area where I had contact with something. So I'm pretty sure, all this time of keeping my face clear, and what I've been doing with my skin is just putting foreign things against my skin. So gotta take care of that. And I did the right thing when walk out of there and tell them happy fucking Friday, fuckers. But yeah, make sure you read, research, and when you're going to any of these doctor's offices, if you have a reason that you have to go, you know, if you pick up on any red flags, just walk the hell out. Your sixth sense, you'll pick up like this place is shit or this person is shit, and you just walk out. Alicia, how are you? And Jess, you said I finally caught a live. Yes, and I'm sorry to all of y'all. I know, usually my schedule is, Thursdays at 7 Pacific Standard Time. So, like I said, I had to take some time out and just go on a vacation, get creative, get my bearings together. And I appreciate, the subscriber that contacted me about, her situation, because I really want to get this out there. Be leery. I mean, I know we cannot avoid, the testing that goes on, that they say we need when it comes to pelvic exams or reproductive health, I guess colon screenings and stuff like that. But we still have control. We still have power in our own hands, take care of ourselves appropriately. And if there's any lifestyle that is being promoted that we say, oh, this might be fun, or let's go engage in this, take a step back and look at it. Like, is this kind of lifestyle being promoted for our demise or for our longevity? So take that into consideration and make the right choice. Prevention and longevity starts in your kitchen. It starts right here with your mouth, what you put into it. Since we're already on the topic, I was going to save this video for another time because I want to put like stills and B-roll footage in there. But I told y'all before, I stopped using Bath and Body Works products. And since we're talking about reproductive health, if you have items in your bathroom, and I'm speaking to my sisters, okay? If your shower or in your bathroom is full of like a lot of, over the counter items down there, such as like Summer's Eve and the stuff that you put up there, look at what you're doing. You really don't need those things. So look at what you're doing, reproductive health and just overall health that may be contributing to your demise, down there. You don't need to be putting all that stuff in there. Read the chemicals and look at what you're introducing to your body. Okay. But like I said, I threw all of my Bath and Body stuff away. I don't use it. If anything I put on my skin is black soap, shea butter, and I did a video a couple videos ago called Root Cause, the documentary that Netflix banned, when it came to my oral health. I don't use toothpaste. I'm now just using coconut oil, my toothbrush, floss, water pick, and some peroxide every now and then. Just be aware of the chemicals that you're introducing to your body, because you put them in, they got to go somewhere. So they're being stored in one of these organs if you're not properly getting rid of them. So holla at Art Kathy. I have her channel listed right there. You can email her, do a consultation. She has a ton of information over there. So make sure you go and check her out. And then another one, I wrote this down, but I don't know what I wanted to say about that. I don't know, but I'll do a separate video on it. Like I said, if you have a shitty doctor, you put them on blast. You cuss their ass out. Yeah, like I said, just get the hell up out of there and don't go back. I think today was my moment. Like, I need a reminder. Like, Tieesha, this is why you sit at home and do for self. Okay, fuck them. Like I said, sue their ass, personal injury attorney, the ambulance chaser, shit, holla at them, because there has to be a stop when it comes to now we're being assaulted in exam rooms. You should not be talked to like shit. Like, I'm a stickler for customer service. So customer service just don't begin and end at a restaurant or a shitty hotel like the Red Lion Hotel in Priceline. It's everywhere that you go to. Man, Heal Thyself by Queen Afua is a good read. I did not know that she made a book about Men Healing Thyself. I know I have Sacred Woman and what is called Overcoming an Angry Vagina. I have those two. So yeah, I'll make sure that I add that. Thank you to Brother Reggie Laster. If you can, if your page is where you're allowing friends, um, friend him on Facebook. He shares a lot of great information. But that is about it. I'm not gonna talk the subject, into the ground, but it's just very important. It's gonna be up here. Hopefully YouTube does not get mad at me again. I didn't put any music in this video because they gave me a copyright for the one I did about holy hoes. They sure did. They gave me a copyright for that one and they disabled the comments. And then before that, when I was talking about Tangibles 2020, they called me a bot and I had to jump through hoops to verify my account. But I just want to say thank you to everybody who tuned in, who is sharing my videos, who is interacting with me on my other social media platforms, and those of you who will watch this video in the future. Just make sure you check out the description for the links to all of the products I mentioned, including the other channels that I mentioned in this video. They'll be in the description. I'll have cards up here to watch other suggested videos and channels, and then the end screens will have some other suggested videos for you. So yeah, if you have any topics for any future videos, I'm going to resume my normal schedule, which is Thursdays. I'm going to be a little bit earlier, so just know Thursdays, just expect me to go live, and I'll update it from there. If not, I will see y'all on these social media streets. And thank you again. Peace to everybody that's here. Big thank you to Kareem, my son's godfather and my great friend, best friend for over a decade now. So thank you everybody for watching this. Everybody who will, make sure you like, subscribe, and share. And I will see you later.